Our first focus is in France. The country has recorded a high voter turnout in the first round of high-stakes snap elections. The voter turnout stands at 60% till 3 p.m. GMT. This time the turnout is higher by 20 points compared to 2022. According to projections by several polling organizations, this will equate to a final turnout of 67.5 to 69.7% when polling stations close. The final turnout in 2022 was just 47.5%. Earlier in the day, French President Emmanuel Macron and Prime Minister Gabriel Attal, far-right National Rally leaders Marine Le Pen and Jordan Bardella, were among other top leaders who cast their ballots. With Russia's war against Ukraine in its third year and energy, food prices much higher, support for the anti-immigration and Eurosceptic National Rally Party has surged Macron's pledging to prevent its ascent. The vote could put the far-right in power in France for the first time since the Nazi occupation in World War II. The second round is due on the 7th of July, at the end of which France will have elected the 577 members of its National Assembly. The outcome of the two-round election, which will wrap up on July 7th, is likely to impact European financial markets, Western support for Ukraine, and how France's nuclear arsenal and global military force is managed. Many French voters are frustrated about inflation and economic concerns, as well as Macron's leadership.
These are not the most popular elections. The people voting today are perhaps the ones who are more likely to vote for extremes. But it is also a sanction against the government. People are not happy with what has been happening in the recent years. We feel that we have lost a lot these recent years. People are angry, and I am angry.
Remember, the elections come after French President Emmanuel Macron called for a snap poll after suffering a crushing defeat to Marine Le Pen's national rally in the European Parliament polls on June 9th. Himanshu Dixit is our correspondent in France. He's now joining us live from Paris. Hi, Himanshu. How has been the voter turnout so far, and what does it indicate?
Eric, I can tell you that the latest figures are from 5 p.m. released by the Ministry of Interior, and the voter turnout has been 60%. If you compare it to 2022 elections, at the same time, the voter turnout was around 39%. That actually shows you how serious the French people are taking these elections. Well, what it means, Emmanuel Macron will say that people are really aware about these elections and they are coming out and vote to make sure that the far right doesn't come into power again after the Nazi occupation in World War II. He wants to make sure that this does not happen. However, the far right would think something very different. They think that all the momentum that they had gathered in the EU elections are taking course and people are coming out to vote against Emmanuel Macron.
Himanshu, what are some of the factors that are making the rural voters to turn towards the far right?
Economic imbalance, the policies that Emmanuel Macron has made, his having no connection with the middle class has also played a huge role. Marine Le Pen has has really marketed their party really, really well in TikTok, on social media. Emmanuel Macron has come across as an elitist, somebody who does not seem to be relating to the middle class. Le Pen has tapped on it, and this clearly you can see the difference has been here. Le Pen, as you know, twice she contested Emmanuel Macron to become the president. The first time in 2017, she was really thrashed. The second time she came really, really close, which actually shows the rise of the far right in terms of being popular in France.
Himanshu, how is it that the French voters seem to be more influenced by the leaders, Macron and Le Pen, rather than the candidates themselves, Attal and Bardella? Because they say, we like you, Attal, but we don't like the president.
Recently nominated by Macron as he became the youngest prime minister. Macron is the face of the party. Marine Le Pen is the face of the party. Bardella is the first person who's considered as a protege to Marine Le Pen. The party was created, of course, by Marine Le Pen's father. They have a history of being, Marine Le Pen's father has a history of saying things which are extremely racist, and he was also subjected to a lot of investigation for it. Marine Le Pen, of course, has changed track. She's trying to be a bit more moderate, but people know what they stand for. And at the end of the day, they vote for the leaders and not really for the local leaders. And they know what they stand for, the economic policies are. And Marine Le Pen has somehow connected, not with there's Paris, there's Lyon, there's Marseille, which are the big cities, but it's the provincial cities, it's the small cities, the rural areas where Marine Le Pen really has connected with the people.
Himanshu, finally, has Macron's call for snap elections or polls backfired so far? Because analysts are saying it has, or did it achieve its purpose?
Completely backfired. If you hear some of the ministers from the Macron government himself, the finance minister came out 2 days ago. He said that it is that it's the people around Macron who has actually misguided him. Gabriel Attal, who is the prime minister nominated by Emmanuel Macron, the current prime minister, said that he was not even aware about these decisions. So clearly, and as you can see in the polls, there's far right, there's the coalition of the left, and then there's Macron. Macron in the polls is at the last. So clearly they have everything to lose in this election, and it's really backfiring.
All right. Himanshu Dixit is our correspondent in France. He's live in Paris. Himanshu, merci beaucoup. Thank you.
Thank you.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.